Growing up in Glasgow, you never met anyone who was in a band, let alone ran a record label. Even a mad wee music nut like me who bought every record he could had no idea he could cross over to the other side. Punk was the revolution that made me and other kids believe that we could do it. Anyone my age will tell you the same. We were the right age, at the right time, with the right attitude, for the right music. Punk changed our lives. It lit a fire that's never gone out. In many ways, I was a ticking time bomb and perfectly primed for punk. In 1977, in the middle of my darkest times, I heard the Sex Pistols' God Save the Queen, and it was a life-changing moment. Looking back now, I obviously had depression, but it was undiagnosed because no one knew what it was back then. In those days, all people would say was pull yourself together, if you even mentioned it, which you never would. My father's bullying fucked me up and made me angry and alienated, a cynical, crazy bastard, which was perfect for punk and then for the music biz, and so I have to thank him for that. The way I grew up made me want to make something of myself, to escape, and punk was the perfect catalyst. It arrived at just the right time to fire up teenage minds like mine, taking the dreams of glam and making them a reality. I left school in 1977 with 1 O-level, but now the music was my education and my life. Punk was like all the best bits of previous pop culture cut up and put back together into something far more incendiary and exciting. It was all-consuming, and its simplicity made it easy to get into. It didn't just create a great soundtrack, there was an urgency to it that told you that you had to be part of it as well. Here's 3 chords, now form a band, as Sideburn #1 fanzine famously printed in 1976. If not that, then run a record label, or put gigs on, or print a fanzine. And if you didn't know what you were doing, who cared? Punk was about empowerment and doing things anyway, just for the hell of it. Sex Pistols were the band, and God Save the Queen blew my mind. I didn't really get the politics or what it was all about at first, but I could feel it, and the sound of it really connected with me and the state I was in at the time. I needed more of this new fix, so I rushed down to the record shop and bought the Stranglers' Go Buddy Go and the Ramones' Sheena as a Punk Rocker, and those records were also life-changing for me. All of them.